Where in the world is the Book of Enoch? Is it really lost, or is it right here all along? What's up, everyone? Now let's talk about one of the most Googled questions in the world. Where is the real Book of Enoch? Now, if you're not familiar with the Book of Enoch, also known as 1 Enoch, this was a book written around the year 300 BCE, give or take a few decades. It tells the story of the fallen angel Azazel and his many sons, who came down to earth and taught humans all sorts of things like how to make swords and knives and all kinds of evil stuff. The Book of Enoch was considered so corrupting that it was removed from the biblical canon, at least by most Christian denominations. But that doesn't mean that it completely disappeared. In fact, there are several manuscripts of the Book of Enoch that have survived to this day, most notably the manuscript at St. Petersburg in Russia. Now, the reason why the Book of Enoch is considered lost is because for the longest time, scholars thought that this ancient Russian manuscript was the only one of its kind. And since it wasn't written in the original Hebrew, but instead in a very old form of Greek known as Koine Greek, they assumed that all other copies were lost in the sands of time. However, what scholars didn't realize is that there were actually two other copies of the Book of Enoch, one in Latin and another in Arabic. These three manuscripts are the only ones that we know of. And no, none of them were found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So the next time someone tells you that the Book of Enoch was lost, you can tell them that it's actually right here in this library. At least these three books are right here in this library. There are also a few fragments in other places, but these are the main manuscripts of the Book of Enoch. Now, if you want to get your hands on a copy of the Book of Enoch, it might be a little more difficult than you think. That's because it's not exactly a bestseller. See, the Book of Enoch has never been translated into English. Yes, you heard that right. After all these years, after all the requests, there still isn't an English translation of the entire Book of Enoch. Don't ask me why. All I know is that if such a translation were to happen, it would definitely sell. I've personally read some of the Ethiopic version of the Book of Enoch, which has also survived to this day, and let me tell you, it's a wild ride. There are parts of the book that even I, as a scholar of religion, had a hard time understanding. Like, what in the world is the Book of Watchers? Am I crazy, or does anyone else want to know? Sadly, we may never know, because there simply isn't an English translation. Maybe someday soon there will be. But until then, the Book of Enoch remains, for all intents and purposes, lost. And that's why.